What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. It is October 20th. Welcome back to the Truck Parking Clubhouse. I'm your guy, Lombard, bringing it at you live. I hope you guys are had a great weekend. You're rolling strong out there, staying safe, especially as the sun comes up a little bit later. It's going to going down a little bit sooner. We got the clocks changing in 2 weeks, which I know not everybody loves that. Before we get rolling into today's Clubhouse, again, about 40 minutes ago, issue 40 of Taillights dropped right in your inbox. Might be in your spam folder. Check it out. Could be there. Sometimes that's where newsletters go. But go ahead, check it out. We cover how some people were using fake beards to get CDLs up in New York. We dove into how some of the states are actually, how they're kind of taking action regarding the new order regarding the issuance of non-domiciled CDLs. And then, as always, we got a weekly survey in there that we love for our trucker members to fill out to get your feedback from. Helps us improve. And also on the back end, we dish you a $25 promo code you are able to use if you need some truck parking. We've got our partner code in there as well. And also what I've been thrown in there that's really cool is a little Taillights throwback. If you don't know, Taillights is a resurgence of my family's company's old newsletter, which they called Taillights. And I have some copies of those old newsletters. So I've been featuring some older little clips in there that kind of highlight maybe a little bit of the scene of the times from going back to the 60s or 70s or wherever. So go check it out. But without any further delay, let's bring on our freaking main guy here, the G.I. Joe trucker himself. What's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Dude, nice to meet you. Nice to
All
have you here.
right.
Where are
All
you tuning
right.
in from?
As of right now, I'm at the Pilot Travel Center in Tom Brook, Virginia, right off of I-81 South.
81 South. You're in the Shenandoah Valley?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Heading
so
towards Tennessee.
yeah, there's an old saying, people from Virginia, they say the Shenandoah Speed Valley.
Right. Well, a lot of construction. I beg to differ because they fly through the construction zone.
Yeah, everybody loves to fly through those
Yes,
construction zones.
yes.
But hey, man, you're on I-81 now. I mean, let's talk about how we got here. So, what got you into trucking?
What got me into trucking, I would say growing up, I'm from Jersey, and I lived in an area where it was just a lot of heavy industry, a lot of trucking, whatever. So I was just like a little kid, just watching it right out the window, seeing trucks go by. And I was just always been intrigued, but it never really been like something that I thought I would be doing later on. And then, after the military, Marine Corps, hoorah, and then after life, had a kid and everything or whatever. My daughter's grandfather, who been a truck driver for over 20 years, pretty much gave me the bug to get into it and everything. And I signed up and used the GI Bill to pay for my tuition at truck driving school, and there you have it.
Dude, that's awesome, man. So, when you went to so what year did you go to CDL school? 2000.
From I went in 2012. 2012.
Awesome. So, what was the first company you started with right out of school? So, I mean, you used your
That,
GI
that,
Bill.
that, let me see. First company, they kind of gave me the boot because I wasn't that. Because before then, it was still all manuals and stick shifts. So I didn't want to jump on to driving the automatic. So my first company was Schneider. Didn't make it there, and then I went home, and then the next company that gave me a chance, and I actually been a company driver for 'em was Frozen Food Express. I think they partnered with KLLM. So yeah, they was the one. So I had to take a long bus ride from Newark, New Jersey, all the way down to Fort Worth, Texas. So, but it was worth it. It was worth it. That was the one that got me through the door. So
No, that's awesome. So going from Frozen Food Express, I mean, it's been a minute since 2012.
yes.
What's kind of transpired over the years, and what kind of freight are you hauling now, and who are you driving with now?
Well, I've been local for like for the 8 years of my driving career. I just started to just do OTR about like 4 years ago. And so a lot of companies bouncing around. I'm pretty much sure every driver has the same story going from company to company until you find the best fit. And the company that I'm with now is MX Logistics. They're a small carrier based out of my area, and they do everything from local, regional to OTR. I'm on the OTR side, so the most fun thing about my company is that we do the concerts, like the show loads and everything. I was just at a country music concert in Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, so that was fun. So we do everything.
Oh, that's awesome. You
Yeah.
wouldn't have happened. Were you at the Austin City Limits by chance for the
Uh,
music festival?
it was for let me see, Star Lake Pavilion. I don't know if you ever heard of that over in Pittsburgh. And the artist name was Bentley. So it was and it's actually a Live Nation, Live Nation, books the artists or whatever. So that's like the big promotion group or whatever. So and he had his trucks, and then I dealt with the equipment that I had was like the lighting and some of the stage equipment and the cords and stuff like that. So I brought that part towards the concert. So yeah. So but other than that, we're all over the place doing everything from LA to Vegas, everywhere.
Dude, that's sick. Was that your first concert load that you
No,
did?
no,
That one?
this probably was like my fifth one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like
What
my
the?
first ever one was I think they sent me out to St. Paul, Minnesota, where the Minnesota Vikings played, and it was for Kelly Clarkson.
Oh man,
She had a
that's
con-
sick.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She had a concert at the Minnesota Vikings stadium. So yeah, and they all the trucks was on the football field. So that was like my first time ever driving the truck on the football field like that, and it was awesome. Yeah.
Oh man, that's I'm curious.
Yes.
So that yeah, the stadium must have a truck entrance, and you could just freaking.
Yes. They got you through. Matter of fact, it was an elevator that brought us all the way down, and then we just they kind of corralled or whatever where they want us to be stationed at. So the crew that works like on the works 5 o'clock or whatever, they're fast with it too. You talking about a whole truckload worth of stuff. They got it unloaded like in about like 35 to 40 minutes or whatever, whatever that they needed for the stage. So,
Dude, that's pretty sick. I was actually
hmm
a friend of mine he works for Teddy Swims, and he's basically the guy who kind of runs the stage crew, and he was telling me about
hmm
how he like they have owner operators, a couple Landstar
right,
guys
right.
who haul some of that stage equipment. And they were actually, and I talked to one of the drivers. It's funny. It's like I didn't. It's like I don't really care to meet Teddy Swims. I want to talk to the guys who drive the trucks,
Yes.
and I'm that kind of nerd. And I was talking to that guy, and I was wearing wearing a Truck Parking Club shirt, and he got into talking. He's like, and he said that while they're on tour, he's like, oh, we use Truck Parking Club while we're on tour. So I got to ask you, when was the first time you had heard of Truck Parking Club?
I heard the Truck Parking Club, I'd say um, just about maybe a year ago. I was skeptical or whatever and everything. And then, driving late at night. See, my thing is like, I don't always aim for the truck stop. I always like to get the most furthest out of my day. So I already know after, a certain time of the day, all the truck stops is full, especially after 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock and everything. And everybody loves to go to Loves and all of that and everything. So I would say it was when I was leaving New Orleans, and it was like late at night, and there was no parking or anything like that at the time that I had. And I think I was somewhere in Mississippi, and I just pulled over, downloaded the app, paid right then and there, and went right through, and you know parked, and did my 10 hour, and that was it. And it was just pretty much on from there. So I was like, yeah, I definitely like having that in my repertoire just to use whenever I feel like I need to get further down the road rather than just, shutting it down about like 100 miles, because, there's only truck parking within that range or whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's I mean, for me, especially when I was driving, that's like the biggest use case where if you want to maximize your clock, you want to maximize
Yes,
your day. And it's like,
absolutely.
but like say you don't start driving or you're not able to start driving until maybe 6 in the morning and you want to
Right.
drive and you want to drive that full 11. I mean, that full
Hmm.
11 puts you shutting down roughly, between 5 and 7 p.m., depending on if you're stopping for fuel or whatever. So it's just like if you're
Right.
stopping after 5 o'clock. So instead, what you can do is, either 1, 2 days out, if you know that that's kind of your route, depending on where you're going, you could just have it reserved, knowing full well I'm going to drive a full 11 or 10 and a half, and
Right.
instead of playing the guessing game,
Hmm.
something's going to be there for me, as
Right.
opposed to some other, the other options, the other paid options. I've gotten there before to travel center where I've reserved it ahead of time and it's all
Right.
full.
Right. Right. Yeah, like even like say, this app with the truck parking club, especially in Atlanta, because even at the TA, the main TA petrol in Atlanta, it was one time and they have over 500 parking spots. And you have to pay for the parking spots. Matter of fact, you gotta pay to get through the gate because there's no longer a person at the gate. They have an automated gate now, so you gotta go there, pay for the parking, and there was no parking left, even with 500 spots. So just to have this at my disposal in somewhere like Atlanta where parking is like scarce is like a game changer for me, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't even know if I would want to stay at
Yeah,
that place
yeah.
in Atlanta.
But sometimes where our pickups, like because that usually drivers they don't want to stay there because it's dangerous, it's dark, and everything happens over there, whatever. But sometimes where our pickups is at and everything, that is like the hottest area and it's like the closest to get to so you could beat all of the traffic and everything. That at least that puts you right somewhere in there where you could get your next load from or make your next delivery from that spot. So yeah, I mean it's unfortunate, but we do whatever works, and even at like 7 o'clock at night, all of the parking spots is filled up, 500 parking spots.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes to show. I mean, it kind of puts the reality, like the real nature of the issue going on. I mean,
Hmm.
Atlanta. I mean, if I had to go through Atlanta, I mean, it's like if you're having to drive through there at 2 in the afternoon. I mean, there goes your day. There, I mean,
Yes.
your hours are going to get cooked no matter what. And then, I mean, just having that. I mean, I mean, just to think. I mean, that Petro is massive, and then it's
Yes.
it's bleeding at the gills.
Right.
Um, Really almost all the time. So
Right.
it's pretty wild. I mean, just
Right.
knowing that area. And really Atlanta's a standalone city. Like there's not another big city for quite a long time from Atlanta, but like next biggest is like Chattanooga. Chattanooga's not very
Right.
big.
Right.
So it's like it's kind of out there, and there's a lot of people who have to come and go from there. And it's a tough. I'd say it's one of the tougher places to drive. I did an entire traffic synopsis in one of the newsletters, and the this is a fun fact for anybody who doesn't know, but the average Atlanta commuter spends like 3 years of their life sitting in traffic.
Wow.
So it's like,
That's the bit because my daughter she lives there now and she's like, Dad, I'm leaving here. Like she can't take it no more. She can't. So
yeah, man, it kind of puts it in perspective.
right.
You were just recently at a location up in Dallas Fort Worth area. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that spot.
Okay. So my pickup was over in Grapevine, Texas, and that location, it was just like the most perfect location where you could be at, especially down in DFW because it was like literally like you could see planes flying over the lot or whatever. So it was literally like next to the airport. So I was only 5 minutes away from where my next pickup was at, and I had two other drivers that picked up the same load. We went to the same location. Those guys had to park well until I let everybody in my company know about truck parking club now, but those other guys never knew about it. They parked all the way in Rockwell, and Rockwell is about like 50 miles to Grapevine, and that's not including the traffic. So, you talked about they, had to almost burn like 3 hours of their time when I had a full day ahead of me, then didn't waste any time just by that location where I parked at.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm assuming they probably stayed at that TA in over there in Rockwell. I mean, it's
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
that's on
yeah.
the other side of Dallas, where Grapevine is like the
Right,
Fort Worth side.
right.
Yeah, no, that's
but
good.
but it was easy. It was I just went right through. It was a lot of space to park, and it was actually clean and all that and everything, and nobody bothered you. It was other truck drivers that was there. I'll say it was about like maybe 6 or 7 drivers there, and we guys just parked there, and you probably have and another advantage of what drivers don't think about, when drivers go home and how companies tell them that you have to have a place to park the truck in the trailer. It was a lot of guys that was doing that. So they would use the location to maybe go home on their 34, and then when they're ready to go out, they'll have their car there or whatever and everything. So they already have a spot to park their car when they come back home from being on the road. So that's a huge advantage. When with a lot of guys, they taking chances, parking in areas where they don't belong at, and they're starting to put boots on trucks, and you know, wreckers are in the business of towing trucks. So, I would say this is definitely worth the investment.
Absolutely, man. Well
Hmm.
said. I got to ask you. I mean, I mean, you're spreading the word to your fellow coworkers and stuff like that. You have a YouTube channel. You make some content, and I always think it's important. Before I get
Right.
into my last question, what kind of inspired you to make content and document kind of your journey, within the industry?
Well, everybody has different, like I have my niche and my lane that I like to stay in or whatever. My thing is about helping drivers and also being kind of out, being, a standalone type of guy, because there's like 1,000 of YouTube truck drivers that do content on YouTube. I try to stand alone from those other guys so it doesn't be redundant and I'm not like the next guy or whatever. So, there may be guys that do, I know, there's a couple of guys that I know that does content, and he's a dear friend of mine, and he does fuel hauling. And there's some other guys that do food service and etc. So I'm in the lane that I'm in, and there's nobody that really does the nature of the work that I do with my company. So I kind of like bring a whole different light to what my experience is, and also I like to bring a different element than what everybody else is doing. So, and I'm open to everybody. Anybody can ask me questions. I like to interact with everyone or whatever, even if it's like 1,000 comments in the description and all of that. I respond to everybody. So I'm an interactive guy, and I like to stand out, from being, you know, di- just like different from everyone else. So
No, absolutely. You've got a great
right,
channel that's informative. I
right.
think that's the most important takeaway, really, for anybody in the content game. I mean, there's a
Hmm.
reason. Again, these live, Truck Parking Club's been around for a few years now. We only started doing these live streams several months ago because, again, and they're live and they live on our YouTube channel. But it's
Hmm.
like, and the thing is, we're on social media. We're kind of everywhere, but like not only do we want to be a resource for drivers to find safe parking and save time and fuel, and thus
Mm-hmm.
money by finding parking, like we hope to be. I mean, we have an entire customer service team staffed by drivers for a reason. Like, I was a driver. I'm here for a reason. Like, we not only just want to be a parking resource, but an overall trucking resource in different ways, and getting to hear stories from people, because there might be a driver out there who's like, wait, this guy drives for this company. He's doing the concert load. Maybe they have a question. Now they have a place to go find you.
Right. Right.
That's kind of what it's all about, is informing and growing community off of it. It's great that you engage with your subscribers and listeners to let them know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's a big thing in the trucking industry, is a lot of people feel like they're not heard. And so when
Right.
somebody they can learn from
Right.
can see that, it's freaking awesome.
Right. Right.
And with your side of the industry, doing the live concerts and the music. So when you're not doing concerts, you said you're basically general OTR. Are you just
Yeah,
is that
yeah, yeah.
right?
We do all of the when we're not doing concerts and show loads. We're doing the regular trucking stuff. Like another high value freight that we also do. We deliver to hospitals, like all of the the generator equipment and the sterilizers and stuff like that, or whatever for hospitals, and and all the other general freight or whatever and everything. So yeah, we do the regular truck and stuff too.
Good to know. And I got to add,
Hmm.
especially because we got some listeners on Instagram who kind of ask this question, or sometimes we get DMs. So
Right.
the company you're driving for, they hiring right now?
Yes, yes, yes. We're hiring mainly for OTR and regional, but you will have to be about like 150, live within 150 miles from the New Jersey area. Like you could live in Pennsylvania, you could live in New York City, you could live in somewhere, but like or maybe out the furthest south is Delaware, whatever, as long as you live within that 150-mile radius. So, and they could go on my company site, mxlogistics.com, tell them that I sent you or whatever and everything, and they'll, fill out an app and, take it from there. But so far, it's been an awesome ride. So I finally been to both of the North and South Dakota with this company. So that officially makes me that I touched every state here in America. So
Yeah, no, it's a good
yes,
feeling. I remember
yes,
the day I hit all lower 48.
yes.
I specifically made like a TikTok video. I made a lot of videos of me running, and I made a pretty motivational video about how dope it
Hmm.
is to have touched all the lower 48 and met
Right.
individuals from it. I mean, there's no better feeling in the world.
Yes, yes, yes. And we do go to Canada. So and they pay you more to go into Canada. So
Let's go. So you've heard it here. So if you guys need to, if you're looking for a good company, you can find GI Joe Trucker on YouTube. You can shoot him a message. He'll send you over the app. If you're looking for your next good place to be, clearly he's
yes.
there and he enjoys it. And so you're liking the company you're with. But I ask this is always a question I ask anybody who comes on, because we know parking's an issue in the industry. But
Hmm.
in your opinion, what do you think is the biggest issue facing the industry?
Biggest issue, I feel like driver retention. It's guys that want to do this. They want to be drivers, like, but sometimes they feel like they're misunderstood, or they feel like the work that they're doing is not, there's no ROI, there's no return of investment. Like they're coming home after doing a long stretch on the road, and they're struggling to make ends meet and everything, and it's not a trade-off where you're on the road but you have nothing to show for it. So I would say that maybe with the things that are happening with the government and whatever, with getting rid of a lot of the bad actors that are like driving down rates. Like even me as a company guy, we feel the effect as well, because we lost contracts before where that contract went to another company, and we had to take a pay cut. So a lot of drivers are really feeling like, it's not worth the trade off or whatever of being out on the road, and then they can't, make the money enough to take care of their families at home or whatever. So I would say hopefully that the economy picks back up, and a lot of drivers could start, getting the miles and getting everything that they need to make so they could make the most money out here so they can support their family. So that's what I see from what I hear most of the guys that do over the road out here. So
It's well said. Driver
hmm
retention being a big issue. It's definitely
yes.
I'm pretty sure ATRI listed as a top issue. I think retention's definitely been the problem since
hmm
for as long as a lot of people can remember. That's well said. Yeah, I think that's it, and that needs to get out there to the masses. Driver
hmm
retention, number one issue.
hmm
Before we sign off, do got to let you know. So we've got some people tuning in live. Where can they find you? Subscribe? Are you on just YouTube? Or are you anywhere else? Where can the people find you?
Um, you can find me, my handle is the same on, you can find me on YouTube at G.I. Joe Trucker. I have the same handle on TikTok. And I'm also on Facebook as Nate White. And my IG name is Facts Over Emotions. So it's like, so if you enter in FAKZ, then the rest of my name will pop up and you'll see me on Instagram. But I've been mainly active on TikTok and YouTube, so you'll definitely find me there.
That's good. That's a powerful Instagram name too, by the way. Facts over
Yes,
emotion.
yes,
Yeah, those are good words to live by. With that,
yes.
any final thoughts out there? If you can give some advice to somebody who's a brand new driver, or just some final thoughts on your mind, but anything that you want to leave on the record.
I would say for a new driver, get with somebody that's doing the same thing that you want to do and use them as your guide to where you want to be at. So if I'm looking at somebody that does car hauling and I want to be a car hauler, so I'm gonna follow that guy and ask them questions, pick their brain apart or whatever, and follow their routes to success or whatever. So you could, make that a part of where you want to be at and everything. And also, let me see. Everybody got to pay their dues. So listen, just build on being a better driver, and everything else will follow, the money and etc. So yeah.
No, that's well said, dude. I want to number one appreciate you coming on the Clubhouse. Won't be the last time, by the way, because
All right.
we'd love to bring you on for some. We're looking to get some round tables going, especially as we get
Okay.
closer to some holidays and stuff to hear. And if
Okay.
you ever get and what I'd love too, let us know the next time you're on a concert load, because
All right.
we'd love to maybe tune in and tap in and get maybe we can get some of you in the action, especially if you're going to
Oh
like
yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
stadium
I'll
or
definitely
something.
do that. I'll
Then
definitely do that. Yes.
definitely let us know.
Yes.
We'd love to just yeah, because I could fire this up live and we can go on. And you can kind of talk us through whatever you're doing. So
Cool.
won't
Yeah.
won't, won't be the last time.
All right.
Gonna walk this one out, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in Monday to the Clubhouse. We're here every Monday, right around 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and we bring on partners of ours like Nate, who goes by Geo Joe Trucker. Because if you couldn't tell, but if you've been listening the last 30 minutes, he makes content. He's a gentleman. He's a driver who wants to leave this industry better than he found it, which is exactly what we do at Truck Parking Club. We want to leave the industry better than we found it. We know that there is a massive issue with parking, which is why with the Truck Parking Club network, we help truckers save time and fuel, thus money, by allowing them to instantly reserve truck parking all across the United States. If you need truck parking, you can go to truckparkingclub.com. You can use that promo code right at the bottom of the screen, GI Joe 20. You get $20 off parking. Taillights is in your inbox, as well with other discounts that you need. And if you need anything at all, you can find me anywhere at Lombard Trucking. But with that, guys, we'll see you next week, next Monday. Stay safe and hammer down.